I took a lot of courage from, the story of Howard Thurman's grandmother, Nancy Ambrose.
I had not heard that story before. I have that book,
She,
but I haven't read it yet.
so she was formerly enslaved. She was emancipated in Florida, and during her enslavement, she was only allowed access to certain scriptures, right? I think was very common among the enslaved and their enslavers. These white men would just read the submission passages or the slave passage, it was the slave Bible. And so she developed this really difficult relationship with the Apostle Paul. I mean, no surprise, right?
Right.
And so actually she's to herself, she made this vow between her and God that if she was ever released from slavery, she would not read the Apostle Paul again.
Yeah.
And this was a woman who was illiterate. I mean, she wanted to keep reading the Bible. This Bible that had led and given a real basis for her enslavement. I mean, obviously they had to cut out a lot of things
Right.
to make the Bible work exclusively like that, because the Bible is inherently liberatory in its wide scope. But there's a lot there that can be used for the enslavement of people.
Right. Yeah.
And,
it's a mirror.
white men enslavers figured that out, used this to their advantage, of course. But I think what was so interesting to me is this woman who is uneducated formally, this woman who could not read, she made this decision, this interpretive decision about the Bible to say, I understand who God is, and God is not going to make me go back to that enslavement.
Right.
I don't have to read Paul in order to know God. And sort of the spiritual authority that she took for herself, I think, is a beautiful model. She didn't have historical criticism to help her, right?
Right.
And yet her example, I think, shows us that there is room to read life into the text without having that whole kind of academic background to give us context and all the things we need. I mean, we need all of that, but really we need all of the voices at the table, is the truth.
Yes. Yeah.
And maybe we privilege certain ones, and maybe that's okay. But the fact is, everybody needs to talk, because I by myself cannot understand God. I need my brothers and sisters with their expertise and their life experience and their insight, their own experiences of God, to kind of teach me. And I think that's, like, if I'm thinking about what I want readers to take away, it really is the sense of spiritual autonomy. To say, I can decide to engage God how I engage God. And, when I'm on more evangelical podcasts, or people who are newer to deconstruction, I say, it's really okay. You don't have to read the Bible anymore. I'm not going to make you read the Bible. I'm not going to ask about your daily walk with God. This is an on you thing. This is a you thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the reality of spirituality, of religion. It's ultimately it's you and God. But the beauty of a community is I get to learn from your experience of God, your interpretation of God, kind of the way that you have engaged these same scriptures, and I can learn and grow from that. So I think that sense of curiosity, that sense of spiritual authority and autonomy that I never really received growing up in the church, I think that's my hope